So, you want to play Drogoz. This is Drogoz the Greedy. Drogoz is one of the many damage class champions in Paladins. Voiced by Chris Rager, he is a flying WYRM, aka a wingless dragon that has a jetpack and a rocket launcher, allowing him to fly around and blast enemies with his explosive projectiles. Hello, my name is Trinity. I am an 8+ year veteran of Paladins, who makes this wonderful lizard that, frankly, rage baits me whenever I play him. But I love him, nevertheless. I have competed in a few community tournaments in the past as a team captain, and was regarded as one of the top Drogoz players in the world. In this video guide, I will be going over everything you need to know to play this champion. Without further ado, let's get started with the basics. Drogoz's abilities are as follows. His main fire is a rocket launcher that fires explosive rockets every 0.85 seconds, dealing 850 damage on hit. With a 6 ammo count, it has a small explosion radius that does a slight knockup up to 4 units. You can harm and accidentally off yourself with the own primary fire, so it's best to be cautious when at low health. His alt fire / first ability is his fire spit. WYRMs have a special flammable saliva that can be described as lava in their bodies. He spits out a flammable orb that can be shot directly by his own rocket launcher. It explodes on contact when hit with this rocket launcher, dealing an AoE, or area of effect, of 900 damage with a minimum fall off damage of 450. It is effective up to 35 units from the spit itself. His fire spit also has a second property, where directly hitting an enemy with your fire spit gives them the weakened condition. While weakened, all incoming damage from your own attacks and your allies are dealt an additional 30% for 3 seconds. This cannot be reduced by any means. It's incredibly useful when trying to focus on a specific target. It has a default cooldown of 8 seconds. The second ability is called Salvo. Drogoz will load all remaining rockets into his launcher and fire them all at once consecutively. Each rocket in this mode would deal 250 AoE damage. Unlike your main fire, these loaded rockets have a higher area effect for damage effectiveness, 15 units, and deals 100% additional damage to any shield. In other words, it's 200 damage on direct hits to people and 500 damage against shields for each rocket loaded into salvo mode. Just like his main fire, you can damage, knock up, knock back, or potentially off yourself with your own salvo attack. It has a default cooldown of 18 seconds. Your third ability, usually called your movement ability, is called Thrust. This is where your flying comes in. Passively, Drogoz has a fuel bar that tells you how much fuel you have left to fly. Thrust simply jets you upwards in a burst of movement that doesn't initially consume fuel. To fly, simply hold your jump button and you consume fuel as you move up. While moving, you can move across any directional axis and have full control of mobility while in the air. You can also restore fuel when not flying by landing on the ground stationary. Well, you can move around, just don't fly. This includes landing on roofs or surfaces, which we will get to later. Your ultimate ability is called Dragon Punch. WYRMs are known for the tough skills and innate raw power. So, Drogoz decides to take it one step further. After a 2-second charge, you fly extremely fast with your jetpack, up to 400 units per second. If you ram your body into a target, you will execute him, dealing 100% of their current maximum health. Fun fact, it is one of 2 abilities in the entire game that does a 100% execution threshold, the other being from Yagharoth's ultimate. While in your ultimate, you are immune to crowd control, and you cannot damage or kill targets with any form of damage immunity. Dragon Punch also is one of the many ultimates in the game where you can cancel your ultimate ability by pressing the ultimate button again. Doing so refunds you 30% ultimate charge. When using the ultimate, these are the two voice lines you will hear from Drogoz. One as an enemy and one as an ally.
Behold the dragon's fury! I must break you.
Drogoz has 3 main talents you can select as you level up your champion. Combustible is his default talent. When you detonate your fire spell, any affected enemy within its radius will be dealt 300 burn damage over a period of 2 seconds. This does have a damage fall off the farther away they are from the AoE radius of the spell. This talent is best used against team compositions that are often grouped up in playstyle, deployable based champions, maps with lots of walls and corners to hide behind, lack or no consistent shielding champions. Fusillade is his level 2 mastery talent. Fusillade increases the damage of direct shots from your rocket launcher or salvo by 25%. This talent is best used against teams that are high health points and built-in damage reductions, team compositions that contain larger hitboxes, slower moving champions, or maps with plenty of choke points. WYRM Jets is his 3rd talent unlocked at level 8 mastery. It increases your booster's max vertical speed by 100% and vertical acceleration by 57%. It doesn't affect your thrust statistics at all, but simply put, it makes flying more efficient and faster movement while in the air. Fun fact, regardless of what talent you use, the item Nimble does indeed make you fly faster in a horizontal axis. Also, I have no idea what the acronym WYRM means. If you have any ideas, I'd love to know. As with all champions, Drogoz has 16 total cards to choose from. I will display each one of them on screen and give a quick little summary of each of them. Cards are displayed by section of the abilities they effect. In the case of Drogoz, our categories are armor/weapon cards, salvo cards, fire spit cards, and thrust cards. In the armor weapon category, altitude. It restores a booster fuel after an elimination or killing blow. Useful for staying in the air. Apex Predator. It simply gives you more health points. Fuel tank. It increases the total amount of fuel you can have in your booster. Hot swap. It increases your default reload speed after direct hit with your rockets. In the salvo category, Bask. It gives you self-healing back every time you hit an enemy with your salvo rockets. Decimate. It increases the explosion radius of your salvo rockets by a percentage. Hyperboost. It gives you back fuel for each salvo rocket that hits an enemy. Spitfire. It reduces the cooldown of your next salvo attack for every salvo rocket that hits an enemy, either direct hit or explosion radius. This condition of direct hit or explosion radius applies to every card inside this category. In the Fire Spit category, Condensation. It reduces the cooldown of your thrust ability for every enemy hit with your Fire Spit. This includes the area of effect damage, AoE, or direct hits. This, by far, is his best card in the entire kit. Follow the Scent. It generates back ammo every time you use your Fire Spit ability, regardless if you hit an enemy or deployable or not. Lung Capacity. It self-heals you for every champion hit with Fire Spit. Masterful. It reduces the cooldown of your Fire Spit for every enemy hit by it, with or without the explosion, just like Condensation. It has an internal cooldown, or ICD, of 5 seconds. In the Thrust category, Propel. It restores a percentage of your fuel after using the Thrust ability. Rain of Fire. It makes Drogoz's fuel consumption reduced by a percentage for 5 seconds after using his Thrust ability. Survival. It completely resets the cooldown of your Thrust ability if under a certain health percentage threshold. It also has an ICD of 15 seconds. Thrill of the Hunt. It reduces the cooldown of your Thrust ability for every elimination you get. With all champions in the game, the developers have worked with previous pro players in the scene and other experienced players who were part of a community-led and voted organization called the Assembly of Champions, AOC for short, to create pre-built card builds for each of the 3 default talents. You are more than welcome to change these or make new ones. I will display all of my builds on screen over the next bit of time in this video, so feel free to pause the video if you wish to copy them, and I will describe the situation of when I will use each build. Please note, I have a very odd playstyle I call Ground Drogoz, where I'm mostly fighting on the ground or on ledges and I'm not really flying much. If you wish to not have this kind of playstyle, you're more than welcome to change or edit any of the builds you see on screen. Fun fact, Drogoz has no card or ability or talent that gives him any damage reduction. He also has no easy or feasible means to regain health due to how niche the card basket is. This makes him extremely squishy. The first build is Combustible. This build is used with the Combustible talent. It is a good build when I need to use a Wormjet-like playstyle, focusing on flying away or being far away from the enemy. The second build is Combust HP. This build is used with the Combustible talent. It is designed to tank a few more hits, usually against high burst or hit scan enemies. The third build is Combust Back. This build is used with the Combustible talent. This is my usual go-to build for my signature Ground Drogoz playstyle. You're simply using natural cover like walls and corners and doing poke burn damage with your spit. It surprisingly works since you're only using your movement to dodge, evade, or reposition, which by getting eliminations with your burning effect on vulnerable targets, you get it consistently. The 200 self-heal is criminally underrated when used correctly. The fourth build is Fusillade. This build is used with the Fusillade talent. Similar to Combustible, this build focuses on flying around in high ground attacks while using the direct damage talent that Fusillade is. It is very useful against tankier, slower moving opponents. Fuse HP. This build is used with the Fusillade talent. It is designed to tank hits while dealing massive amounts of damage. This is best used in a blitzy-like playstyle, where you're playing aggressive and going for kills constantly. The next build is Fuse Salvo. This build is used with the Fusillade talent. It capitalizes on the salvo aspects of his kit, where it's easy to get value from it on choke point maps. Gameplay wise, I treat it like my ground Drogoz playstyle, but using natural ledges and high ground to get the most of the kit. The next build is WYRM Aggro. This build is used with the WYRM Jets talent. It is designed to fly around while playing aggressively. It's great for dive compositions where you're trying to snowball a fight while maintaining your distance. The next build is LSAT, aptly named after the Call of Duty kill streak, which is my favorite kill streak. This build is used with the WYRM Jets talent. It is designed to literally never touch the ground at all whenever the match is live. If done correctly, you can go an entire game and forever be in the sky. It is great to be extremely annoying and a distraction for the enemy team. The final build is WYRM HP. This build is used with the WYRM Jets talent. This is designed to give you a lot of health points while you're flying around. It's very useful on maps with open air, so you can make use of the ample amounts of room for mobility. It is important to note that Drogoz is one of the most, if not the most, counterable champion in the game. Practically anything with a hit scan, anything with damage reduction, anything that has a shield or deployable or something that can just absorb his Spitfire attacks, kinda screw him over. It doesn't help that his hitbox is extremely large compared to other damage champions in the game, making him an easy target. Pair that with his lack of self-healing and lack of damage reduction himself, you kinda die super quickly. When playing Drogoz, you have to learn how to adapt to incoming damage, thus making positioning and field conservation a must-know to make him work. This section will focus on a lot of the advanced tactics and techniques, things that not many people will talk about while playing him, but also things you might not know about his kit or just how the game works based on his movement, based on his projectiles, and how hitboxes are registered during the game. I will go through these in a list format with some clips that will help demonstrate what I'm talking about. Your thrust ability during the initial launch phase does not get affected by knockback. It actually overrides it. This means you can counteract any form of knockback you receive by simply using your thrust ability. This is very useful to avoid being knocked off the cliff of any map or into any death zones. Combustible is useful for default warhacks. Any target that is burning by a combustible burning effect, or any burning effect from your attack sources, will be revealed through any surface or wall from your attacks. This includes people who are invisible. It is a useful tool for gathering information when figuring out where people are running to and help build your game sense. It's important to note that with Drogoz specifically and potentially other champions, certain deployables trigger resets on his various cards. For example, the Salvo cards, Basque, Hyper Boost, and Spitfire can be triggered on Yin clones or Grok totems. This makes Drogoz one of the best counters against those two champions. Drogoz's fire spit collision isn't to scale of the spit itself. You can have the edges of his fire spit clip through certain walls or angles. Fair and balanced. This is a technique combination of using both the fire spit and salvo abilities. First, you load up your salvo ability. Then, you fly up or get at a certain angle and you fire spit to the direction you want to attack. You then aim just below your fire spit projectile and fire your salvo ability in that area. If timed properly. You get the effects of the salvo damage and the area of effect damage from the fire spit, as the explosion radius from your salvo rockets will trigger your fire spit. If done right, you can dish up to 2,400 damage in less than a second. If you are using the Fusillade talent and all your salvos directly hit a single target, that now becomes 2,850 damage. The term for this technique was coined by an old Paladins content creator and Drogoz main by the name of Helvian. Scale issue combo. This is a much harder technique that takes advantage of your rocket launcher area of effect. Similar to the fair and balanced combo, you simply spit right above a target or to the side of it. Then you fire a main rocket launcher shot directly to the body of your target. If timed correctly and done right, the small area effect from your default main fire rocket will trigger the fire spit explosion. Without Fusillade, you would deal up to 1,750 damage in a single shot. With Fusillade, this becomes 1,963 damage. Movement is extremely important for Drogoz. As stated previously, Nimble increases your horizontal movement speed, but not vertical. In addition, you can cancel your ultimate or dismount from a horse to conserve movement to fly extremely fast directly at the end of those animations. Speaking of movement, this leads us to another section that, frankly, makes him stand out more than any other champion in the game. Hey there, Editor Trinity here. There was a lot of stuff in this advanced section I could not really cover due to a personal time limitation I had with this project. So as you play in the game, feel free to explore and try to find new things that I've never mentioned in this video as you play Drogoz. I think there's a lot of stuff to him that, frankly, I wish I would have known at the time when I was writing the script. Anyways, back to the video. This deserves an entire section in the advanced category. It is important to note that as a Drogoz player, aerial advantage is your friend, but so is cover. You can use ledges, roofs, and platforms to basically stall your flight. Bright Marsh and Splitstone Quarry are by far the best maps for this, and same with Jaguar Forest. These are generally your best maps as a Drogoz player. Take advantage of it. It'll help you a lot. Drogoz's movement is very niche. The coding and mapping his movement is kind of complicated, as it really depends on the collision vectors and areas throughout the maps. For this section of this niche movement, I've been using information and clips from a friend of mine, MrsFrog, also known as JulezleBoss. He is much more knowledgeable about the following tech than I am, and he spends hours upon hours practicing them both in the training range and in actual matches, and shout out to him recording the content as well. This is where Drogoz gets truly insane, making him the craziest movement champion in the game if you were to consistently get good at each of the following techs. As a flying lizard, Drogoz seems like a very simple character. His thrust is such a simple ability to master. Surely it can't be difficult. Or is it? Consider every movement is effective based on where your character goes. With varying speeds that considers your normal WASD/analog movement, but also any knock up or knock back you endure. Salvo spam, for example, gives 6 standard rocket jumps. His normal knock up for his rocket launcher in a rapid succession. Multiplying vectors with each consecutive salvo rocket jump does not make a linear acceleration, especially when used in rapid succession. It's exponential. You can do some speed conserving with your default explosion, as with any area of effect in the game, that is a single point of explosions, mostly with Willow, Eevee, and Pip. But what makes Drogoz special is his salvo ability that allows it to be multiplied because it's a back-to-back-to-back effect. As a result, 6 consecutive salvo rocket jumps are more of an increase than 6 standard rocket jumps, one after another, as long as they do not touch the ground. This is known as salvo boosting. When you drop from a high ground on the horse and you jump off the horse, while holding jetpack before touching the ground, you can bounce off the ground and keep momentum. Doing this makes your initial velocity higher than default, walking or stationary flying. If you salvo rocket jump with an optimal 6 rockets, instantly flying away as momentum scales due to you not touching the ground. After all, if you hit the ground, the velocity becomes 0. If you were to hit stairs or slope while using your jump button to fly upwards, the velocity calculation ends after the angle is initially changed, resulting in high horizontal and vertical calculations at the end of each angle vector. This launches you at a specific angle, usually in the direction of the slope, and it sends you flying across the map. It is important to note that on slopes, you must be floating barely above the ground in order to obtain the optimal boosting effects, as the farther away you are from the explosion radius, the less knockback or knock up you are going to be receiving. At the same time, this gives you additional vertical movement in the direction of the slope or the direction of the attack you are going. This is known as slope boosting.
Yeah. Like, you cannot right now, but I feel like you should be able to.
And as stated previously, the item nimble and other movement adding effects while doing slope or salvo boosting can make it go even faster and farther. Another Drogoz tech is redirecting thrust. Remember, when you thrust, your velocity vectors reset, and therefore you can just go in the direction of your thrust. Well, when you use it, sometimes you can hit your head on the ceiling, and this pushes you downward. Known as head clipping, you can use this downward push to redirect momentum of your thrust to go either downward directly or more horizontally if you need to go forward. Hey, Editor Trinity here. Just want to say some of these words and the terminology that I'm giving them, other people can call it different things depending who you talk to. Just want to quickly make that clarification. Anyways, back to the video. Rather than using the momentum to go upward, which thrust normally does. This idea can be used with walls. If you collide Drogoz in this very specific angle against any wall within the game, it boops you down rapidly. This messes up your enemy's aim. If you have a card that resets your thrust, just like survival, and you hit that health threshold, you can use it again right afterwards, making you practically springboard up and down a certain hallway that would mess up your enemy's aim. In addition, Drogoz's card Survival has an interesting quirk to it. When it activates, you gain an extra charge of thrust that isn't calculated visually within the game code. And if you haven't used thrust once it's been triggered, all this means is that you have 2 charges of your thrust ability that you can use right after each other. There's also another form of slope boosting, also commonly known as roof abusing. Roof abusing occurs when you rest Drogoz on a downward slope on the map, while having collision that halts his initial movements. The game thinks he's still going down, but you actually aren't, so it's storing all your velocity momentum that you will normally get with gravity in the game. This momentum is paired with some hard-coded knockback that certain areas on the maps are designed, where within these areas it pushes character models away from it, preventing people from just camping on top of out of reach areas just like the roofs on Bright Marsh, or any wall structure that is slanted, just like the top railings on the map Bazaar. Well, the speed builds up, and at some point you're either going to cap out in the speed, or if you gently nudge yourself, it sends you flying, like faster than its ultimate, faster than salvo spamming, and you don't have to use any abilities to achieve this. Think of it as like doing a rail grind skateboard trick, but it's just better. The trick to do this consistently is to boost your FPS as high as you can. For some reason, your frames per second allows you to utilize the stored momentum that the game registers on your character model. But if your speed happens to go too fast, it will slingshot you back and your momentum kind of gets carried, and now you're kind of like floating there for a few seconds and you can't really control your character. This technique has been basically shouted around and gatekept by the Drogoz community for years. But one day, a YouTuber by the name of Cocaine Dragon made a video that exposed this somewhat kept secret or tactic that many people in the community, especially Drogoz mains, didn't want to talk about. You can view this video listed in the description, or you can click on the title card to get access to the video to see what I'm talking about. It is important to note, and this is a warning, roof abusing is bannable and is considered cheating. Why? You're intentionally abusing the fact that some collisions on the map are designed to force characters out of that area, and is usually meant to stop them from hitting out of reach areas, stop them from hitting death zones, or hitting skyboxes and glitching out your character. But when you roof abuse, you're intentionally taking this hard-coded mechanic and giving yourself a stupid amount of speed for doing absolutely nothing. There have been multiple instances of Drogoz players or players using this technique being banned for doing this tech. So do it at your own caution if you want to. I don't recommend doing it, just if you get banned, that's all on you. This part of the guide will go through 3 complete matches, 1 for each talent. You will see post commentary on my thought process for each match, so you can get an idea of what it's like to be a Drogoz player and what I think about when I'm playing my favorite champion. The first match would be with the Combustible talent, my personal favorite. The second would be with the Fusillade talent, and the third would be with WYRM Jets. Please enjoy. Alright. We're here at the commentate part. So, the first game we got is a Combustible game. Now, just for context, all of the recordings that you saw in this video so far, me talking through a script that I wrote, all this stuff that you see in this video was basically done in like one sitting over the period of like 4 hours or so. I started it like around 11 p.m. because I just got done with my D&D session. I didn't get done until like 3 a.m. Like I legitimately almost pulled an all-nighter just to get the content out. I have a personal scheduling limitation, so I want to get these things out as fast as I can. I'm gonna rewind for a moment. So whenever I am playing a champion or playing this game, I look at the team composition. I noticed that, hey, they have a very bursty team. Burst damage, burst damage, burst damage, burst damage, can do burst damage. So I know it's high damage. I also know that low HP, not so much HP, low HP, not so much HP, bunch of HP. Basically, high damage, kind of low HP, high mobility. These 4 has some pretty insane mobility. But no, Combustible, as I did talk about Combustible earlier being great against teams without shield. Well, they don't really have a good shield, so Combustible obviously works. But the nice thing about Combustible is that the knockback value sometimes is simply the best thing you can get, solely because you can mess up anybody else's mobility. And frankly, movement is extremely important in this game. There is the building I'm going to use solely, as I talked about earlier. They have a lot of health. I want to survive and not die as fast. I still get nuked a few times, but it helps. So I'm going with my HP build.
Prepare for battle.
So throughout this, I am going to do some pausing, so I can explain my thought process. But as more gameplay goes on and more examples are shown in this video, I'm gonna do a little bit less talking unless it's something I really want to bring up. So this one is going to have a lot of talking, a lot of pausing. I always start salvoing. It's just a habit I get. I spit here. I hit 2 people. Go through the ruckus. I send ruckus back. There's a mage behind me. 21 we want to mage. Never do this, by the way. If you knew Drogoz, don't do it. Now the cool thing about this move I did here, I knew Maeve dashed, and she's still fighting me. So because I'm running Combustible, and generally with your Fire Spit in particular, a cool thing you can do with this ability is zone. So I'm going to spit, and I knew she has 2 options. If she goes to the left, Genos is right there. I saw Genos. She's probably going to die. She goes to the right, she get hit by my spit. There's no good situation this Maeve can go because I zoned her out with my spit. No matter what happens, she probably is going to die unless she does something fast, which she just dies immediately right afterwards because she gets hit by the spit. Genos could have gripped her and I would have gotten a free shot. So no matter what, she was going to die. That's just using my spit to the advantage. Koga, now if you notice, you may wonder, wow, why is Koga and Sati all the way at the spawn? Well, a strategy you can do in this game if you want to increase your chances of winning a match is called dismounting. If you notice at the beginning of this match, everybody flew on a horse, including me. You can dismount people off their horse, and you can't resummon a horse in Siege or any other game mode unless it's payload. So by dismounting them, you essentially make it longer for them to get to the point. And so if you do team wipe, you generally want to set up dismounts and either hold the area or run away. So that's what they were doing. You usually want your hit scans to go forward and dismount. If you get a kill from me dismounting, cool. We lose our Sati here. I'm just shooting to try to be supportive. My spit, I get the ruckus, Mavis to my left, Towers to the right. Koga overextends right there, and we are just getting walked on, and I just get nuked out of distance. Not much I could have done there. I'm gonna buy more resilience because they have a lot of crowd control. So Filia can stun, Maeve can blind, and Mani has a pretty often ice bomb that can like make you not move. So I'm just buying resilience early on, which reduces the amount of crowd control that I receive. We lost a healer, that sucks. I salvo and I use the spit collision I talked about earlier to spit above my Imani's wall, not Imani's, my Inoa's rolls here. And it's always a safe habit that whenever you're going combustible or just using your fire spit in general, you always want to aim upwards in most cases. In this case, I aimed upwards and just happened to be the perfect distance where my collision of the spit just goes straight through her wall, which I think is hilarious. And I get some burn damage from it. I see them all grouped up here. Now, the Armani just get absolutely destroyed. And I talked about earlier, the nice thing with the Combustible talent is that you have built-in wall hacks because of the burn damage with this talent. So when I spit here, I hit her with it. I see her going to the right. I'm like, okay, bet. Easy kill. Fair and balance. Didn't get it. It's much more difficult to fair and balance with Combustible because the knockback screws you over. And as you've noticed in this gameplay, you can see me going ground Drogoz. I'm not flying as much. I'm usually staying to the ground. I'm only flying if I want to hit a shot or I'm trying to dodge. Otherwise, I'm on the ground most of the time, as you can see. Maybe get destroyed, but we are resetting. Koga's off spawn. We're just down people. Zone out the ruckus. Keep them on that side of the map. Tower altered on the right. I'm gonna try and help out. And I'm gonna take this new spot that's open. Time my spit. Take the ruckus. Just trying to move around, help out my team as much as I can. I'm being passive and I'm waiting for them to make a mistake. Spit up. I got 2 of them. Inferior gets absolutely clocked here. I got a second kill and the 5th one. So, here's my mindset. When you kill a healer, they only have 1 healer. My mind's that I need to snowball this. They have no heal. We're being aggressive here, and I know my team's alive. So I'm gonna snowball. I'm gonna use my ultimate to get another kill, stagger them even more, and see if I can get a 3rd one. And that's exactly what happened. Tower dies, Maeve dies, is a 2v5, and we can run it down. Now, unfortunately, I kind of go too far. Overextend a little bit, that's my bad. But I use a tech here. Hey, if you didn't catch that, I thrusted while my head is touching this archway. So I'm doing my head clipping to boost myself forward instead of up. But like I said, I overextended and I get punished for it. So. And right here, I'm calling out where the Amani is. Amani's ultimate, she summons a dragon that can absolutely team wipe. So I just call out where the dragon is. And you can either kill Amani or you can kill the dragon. Both work. Sticking to the Genos, tower gets destroyed. We start to lose everybody here, so I'm just gonna run away. Or at least try to escape.
9, 8,
I
7,
zone out the Maeve.
5.
I unfortunately did not see Ruckus there.
2, 1.
I did not think Ruckus was that close to me, so I just died. If I had Nimble, I could have made it out of there, but I just died. Alright, I'm 11-3. Not bad. I'm trying to think in my head, like, okay, what are they going to do? What items are they getting? Because if I know if they're trying to do more cooldown based stuff, I would change my playstyle. And they're buying stuff to help them sustain a group fight. So damage reduction items. I know they're trying to play more aggressive. Some friendly banter.
5, 4,
Bringing it ground.
3, 2.
Ah, yes,
1.
I missed that Androxus spray. The glory days. Anyways, second round. I hear them to my left. I saw someone to my right, which was Maeve. Ruckus altered. Inferior altered. Maeve altered. That's 3 of their ultimates gone. Maeve gets destroyed. I run away. I don't want to die. Sati ults. Koga ults. Gets Tyra. Inara ults. Stuns 2 of them. Didn't get a value. Unfortunate. But Ruckus dies for it. Now it's my turn. I get the Amani, but I get traded. But I have give that team a lot of space to work with, which is very nice. On spawn we go. I'm gonna go left side this time. I'm trying to play different positioning, help out the Koga. Load up my salvo. I see them grouped up, so I get a good fair and balance right there. Zone out the Tyra, help out the Koga. We kept the point, which is good. And now they're just falling back. So I'm gonna try to zone them out and keep them like away from our area so we can get some more space. I was Sati and Koga. No, shout out to them. They go stupid. And this Genos here, lovely. That was a Furia beam. Normally you get stunned. I didn't get stunned. Don't know why. But now at this point, I'm just being more passive. I'm waiting for a mistake. I'm just trying to see what they do. I see a money for a second, so I'll call out middle. But they kill the dragon super quickly, which is awesome. Like I said, the other team, my team, was on top of it this match. So shout out to them. Let's run away. Sati died instead of me. I felt so bad. I'm using my emotes here to get third person while I try to get out of combat healing. So on the bottom left, there was like a green bar. I can actually show it. You see this green bar that's on the bottom left? This green bar is your out of combat healing. Once that goes all the way down, you start to regenerate health. This has been in the game since the game first came out. Like, it's always been a part of the game. Maeve has no cooldown, so I tried to chase, but she died anyways. And I tried to flank around her right side over the cliff, but I didn't have enough fuel. I played this map so many times, I know how much fuel I need. Fair and balance, very good one. And we got the Furia ultimate out, which is huge. And Asati got one with hers. Koga goes crazy. Maeve ults. She dies for it. So now they have 2 ultimates down.
30 seconds remaining.
Koga ults. Rocket ults. Tara ults. And they got nothing for it. Now, here's the thing. First of all, I buy Death Hands. Faster reload. Because if I'm going against a team like this where it's just very bursting movement, I need more shots. You heard Ruckus ultimate. You heard him use it. I actually make a mistake here. I call out, hey, no Ruckus ultimate. He just used it. But I was wrong. You see, I forgot that Ruckus, his trigger when he uses up the ultimate charge, doesn't happen until like a second later. Ruckus still has his ultimate, and even after I salvo boost here, there's some salvo boosting. I die here because I want to do something cool, and then Ruckus ults and absolutely melts our NR. So that was a bad play on me for giving the wrong communication. I just totally forgot that the trigger of when Ruckus's ultimate is used up. We're getting staggered. I salvo boost into a goddamn wall. It's not looking pretty right now, but I'm gonna try to fix it. Hey, there was one bad thing I do. two bad things. I missed with my ultimate. Because Ruckus just ran away. But we get our space. Our team took the space in the middle. They all ran back just to kill me. And Maeve dies because of that. I'll call out Immortus on the right hand side. I try to get her with a spit, but she dies anyways. Now, there's something I want to point out. Like I said, this first one's going to have a lot of pausing. The last shouldn't be paused this much. But this game has a comeback mechanic. Look how fast they are going to increase their percentage. Is by 4. And then look how fast we increase our percentage. Is by 3s. Comeback mechanic is simply this. By default, your capture percentage is 3% per tick. If you are down 2 points, your capture is 4% per tick. If you're down by 1 point, your capture will alternate between 3%, 4%, 3%, 4%. And if you are tied, or if you're in the lead, it's only 3%. So this game has a built-in comeback mechanic to legitimately create a comeback moment for the losing team. I did more zoning. That knockback was huge on the Tyra. I hit that shot on Maeve, which is kind of crazy. Ruckus gonna try to touch, knock him back more. He did get on a point and triggers overtime. I'm low HP. We have no healer. Amani's right up here. Furia ults and I somehow lives. I'm playing passive. Tyra gets knocked back. She's super low HP. She gets left by Genos. And dies because of it. Koga, awesome cleanup in the back line. I'm playing passive, trying to heal. I got my ult again. Ruckus dies. Amani dies. Dismantle Furia. She gets lifted up. And we just snowballed there. And that kind of shows how quickly a fight can turn around in this game. This game is extremely snowball heavy. So if the right situation goes on, you can just team wipe at any notice. Anyways, that was a Combustible match. You got to see a little bit of everything there that I've talked about in this video. I got 31 eliminations, 13 kills, 18 assists, died 6 times. I commend the team, they commend me. I said GG's in chat, and I did 76,000 damage, which was the most in the server. On to the next game. And here we are back with another game. This time we are showcasing Fusillade. We're on the map Stone Keep Classic. So there's 2 versions. There's the classic version, which is daytime with the old map design, and the one from the previous video we just watched, the Combustible one, which is Stone Keep Night, which has the different layouts. The layout really is important on the capturing points for the payloads. That's basically the only difference, and a graphics update. Funny enough, the nighttime Stone Keep does worse in performance, so frankly it's just better to use the normal Stone Keep. It's better on the computer.
Let the siege
Now
begin.
we got on our team a Drogoz, a Bomb King, Azan, Sirius, Koga. We have no shields, but we have a lot of damage. On their team, they got Makoa, Vatu, Io, Corvus, and another Drogoz. Alright, seems like there's a Drogoz player I have to diff. They got double supports with the Ion Corvus, Vatu, who's a mobile flank, high skill ceiling. Like, surprisingly, he's very good if you know what you're doing. And then Makoa, which is probably one of the better tanks in the entire game. He has a hook that can pull people in. He has a cannonball that he shoots that does pretty good damage. His his shell shield because you know he's freaking total. Yeah, it screws up Drogoz quite a bit, and you're going to see that in this video where his shell shield just doesn't work with me. You also notice Trinity. Why is it taking so long to load in? Well, Sarah's over here. It's not loading in. Yeah, we don't get a healer this entire game. Unfortunately, this game is plagued with a problem that people leave and don't come back. Sometimes it is because of a legitimate crash, and this game is notorious to crashing just for absolutely no reason, especially if you're a console player. However, there is people who legitimately leave just to leave.
Where is the goal?
And never come back. But people do leave because of IRL stuff. It's hard to tell, but most of the time they leave just to leave. And it sucks. It is so annoying when you're trying to have fun and people just leave. Anyways, I go Fusillade here.
Let's go.
They have a lot of low HPs. Now, I talked about how Fusillade earlier is best against tankier people. Well, they do have a Makoa. They also have two big hitboxes, right? But Fusillade also have low mobility. The only super fast one here with a small hitbox is Vatu. These two are slow as hell. He has a big hitbox. He has a lot of HP. Honestly, all three talents could work here. Because the only shield issue is Makoa. Combustible screws up these three because of the knockback. Fusillade melts these. And Wormjets works because they have only one hit scan and it's low damage. So they're just one of those situations where any talent works here. I just go with Fusillade. One, I want to showcase Fusillade, and two, I get to nuke him. Especially since we have three burst and one high damage. Regarding my card build, I'm looking through this.
The battle is about to begin.
I realize, like, hey, they don't have a good hit scan. It's only Corvus, who in fact is going to stun Corvus. And you can see our Ceres on the bottom left of this screen is DC'd. Stun Corvus is annoying, so I go Resilience, and I get one thing of Nimble, so I can move faster because I am flying. And Nimble is just one of the best items in the whole game. Just like the other maps, start out with my salvo. Asan gets hooked, I try to help him out. There's the shield. Makoi's gonna be a nuisance this entire game. And I'm just taking pot shots. Now, I am so used to, as he had a Vatu behind us. I'm so used to Io running a specific talent in higher elo. By the way, he gets destroyed. So I shoot the dog out of reflex in some of these cases. Right here, I learned that, oh wait, she's not running sacrifice. There's something I'm going to show you guys here. Watch. There's no frame rate issues. It was not a glitch. Watch what happens with my rocket. They're like, Trinity, where did that rocket come from? Well, Drogoz has something cool. Drogoz can animation cancel. There is a small timing whenever you spit or recovering from a reload where you can just straight up cancel that animation and shoot instantly. It is quite hard to time. I still can only do it somewhat consistently, but you can animation cancel your attacks as Drogoz. I know where McCoy is, and he fell back. Now, when you are playing without a healer, that will get destroyed. when you are playing without a healer, generally you kind of want to play aggressive, because if your whole team has to play as a unit, because if you try to do solo plays, you're just gonna die. So in the moments where you have no healer, you play as a whole team. In most cases, you want to play aggressive and use your better DPS to the advantage. Batu's to the right, Portu's to my left. Sirius gets destroyed, but we have a bot Sirius, so it doesn't matter. Batu 1v1. 1, 2, 3 dashes. He has no more dash, and he dies because of it. I hear someone behind me, and it was the Corvus, and he dies. Now in my mind, I want to snowball, but we're all low HP, and we have no space, so we can't. So I'm gonna hide behind this tree to try to heal.
That's the best you can do.
You saw how big those salvo rockets are? It's insane. I see Batu again. I'm gonna try to diff him. Try to zone my spit, didn't work. McCoy is chasing me. He misses, but then he ults. So I spit on him for that extra damage. I do head clipping, head collision to get out of there. And by my nimble, by my resilience, by my meditation. Now, when you also have a moment when you don't have a healer, meditation is super useful because it lets you get back into the fight faster after you're out of combat healing.
Seconds remaining.
I hear Baki to my right. I see Azan pushing right, so I'm gonna follow him.
Enemy rampage. 15 seconds remaining.
I tried to animation cancel that and it just didn't work out, and I died because of it.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
But
2.
the trade was long. Unfortunately, we don't push it in, so we gotta wait until next turn. As usual, in between games, I'm trying to look at what items to buy.
Yes.
And then me and Azan, we kind of just talked back and forth, venting about people leaving, which is super annoyed with it. Fun fact, all the gameplay you were seeing was made on the night of Paladins Day.
Point spawning in 15
So,
seconds.
long story short, some Finch dude made a video to make Paladins 2 and buy the game. Didn't work out, so the community was like, you know what? We are still going to be active on August 9th, just like you wanted to, Mr. Finch dude. But we can do it on our own terms. So, yeah, this was done on Paladins Day. A lot of the unks came back. Early ultimate. Let's see if we can get a kill. I got Drogoz gonna try to come after me. I'm just gonna dodge it. I dodge a Batu ultimate. I dodged 2 ultimates there by some miracle, and I get this kill here. And McCoy misses. I was just Neo. Like, I was just Neo in this. We play that. Like, this is a straight up some Matrix shit. Like, straight up Matrix. Beautiful sequence. Like, it's just beautiful. It was just a beautiful sequence.
I refuse to die.
And just like the other map, I'm just going to try to push him back and zone him away. And see if I can get a lucky dismount. Bot serious moment. Come down, Corvus. Die. Thank you. Beam him. Get him. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Ah, he lives. But Drogoz gets destroyed thanks to the extra damage. But then I get destroyed because of Vatu. Average Vatu moment. I see McCoy alone, so I'm gonna try to pressure him. But I die, but at least I get traded, and my Bomb King stays alive. And they both got the double kill there. So now we are up, people. I'm a salvo boost here. Monty, IO dies, huge stagger. This McCoy hates me for some reason. I don't know what I did to him. So I'm gonna try to get my out of combat healing. And you can see when meditate, my health comes back so much faster. McCoy dies. Batu gets out of there. I know Drogoz is up here. But I died to the burn damage of Combustible. On computer, if we press, I think it's Y. I think if we press Y or K on the computer, it allows you to see how you die. I can't recall off the top of my head at the moment, but it's one of those two buttons. Even without Combustible, if you hit somebody with your spit, you can still see them for a little bit. Just his spit makes it last longer, which is nice value. And you can see me hitting my direct shot, so I'm getting value from this talent. Didn't get a fan balance, Corvus ults, IO ulted, they have no support ult. Koga ultimate, Bomb King ultimate, Makora ultimate, IO dies, and we get pushed off the point. Vatu ultimate. Alright, it's 2-2. Matches is annoying, but I say it's winnable because everything is winnable. That is the mindset you gotta have sometimes. I'm checking the talents, trying to see if they're running. This Drogoz has the weirdest build. Like, who the heck runs Fall Descent 3?
Point spawning in 15 seconds.
Like, who runs that card? I was going to say Drogoz has a trash build, but I didn't say that.
5, 4, 3, 2.
That build,
1.
you're like, you're 500 level Drogoz. Like, that build is sus, dude. That's a sus build.
Well.
You can run Ammo 3, just not with the cards you have. Like, if you use different cards, yeah, Ammo card could work. Just not that one. You can see that I accidentally... Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I accidentally did a skill issue combo on this McCoy here. Like an accidental skill issue. Well, I hit the spit, but it would have been a skill issue no matter what if my spit was just an inch higher. And they just get destroyed. IO's over here. And this is when I noticed that IO is a bot. Not only was her movement odd, but I also, just for a split second, looked at the leaderboard. And in this split second, I noticed she did not have a title. So I know she disconnected. But IO was the spot serious. Who's better? I don't know. Ask Reddit. Crazy dismount. I hear him to my left. I hear Drogoz to my right. Now I'm hitting all over there, and I get destroyed. Vatu moment. Average Vatu moment. And that's kind of like the slight downfall of having a ground Drogoz playstyle, is that it makes it easy to get lined up on different ultimates, and you just get caught in the crossfire. And now I'm an ult. I hear Drogoz to my right. He gets a kill, we trade tanks. I'm not sure if you caught it in the chat earlier, but Bomb King asked me to save my ultimate for Makoa's Ancient Rage. So that's what I did, and I just absolutely destroyed Vatu there. So now in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna save my ultimate for Makoa so my Bomb King has an easier time. And now I'm just trying to stagger. I'm trying to get some staggers going on. But BK dice. I know McCoy's to my right. We're starting to get pushed back a little bit. I hear Drogoz to my left, so I want to him. I got him. Dude, 2 matches in a row, and we have in the same Koga. So, shout out to this Koga. He's so good. And now we just get your normal gameplay here. Nothing special really happens. Honestly, if I was that Batu, I would have crashed out, dude. This man gets double stunned back to back. I would have crashed out. But we managed to clutch it up. It sucks that they didn't have a healer, but GG's nevertheless. In the game with 100,000 damage, I got 27 eliminations. Most in the server, yet again. And in it with 3,991 credits. And that is Fusillade. And we are back with our last game showcase. This time, we're going to go WYRM Jets. On a match, Sipping Beach. Earlier I said that there are certain maps that Drogoz is good on. I say Sipping Beach, in my personal opinion, is his 4th best map. Right behind Splitstone, Bright Marsh, and Jaguar Falls. This is probably his 4th best map.
Siege begin.
Other people has a different tier list. Our composition: Drogoz, Strix, Fernando, Ying, Dredge. They have Caspian, Dredge, Talus, Genos, and Fernando. That crazy Koga I've been hyping up. Yeah, he's on the enemy team with his duo, Dredge, who was the Bomb King from the previous match. So I just played against them. I just played with them, now playing against them. I decided to go WYRM Jets here, which, one, like I said, for the last game, WYRM Jets was planned no matter what. So I have footage of all 3 talents. But in this case, they're just a very good WYRM Jets build. Like WYRM Jets team, because they have 2 hit skins, Genos and Talus, and both of them are trash at range. Dredge is a sitting duck. Caspian requires a lot of movement. Fernando, because of his movable shield that he holds on to, I can just fly above him. Combustible would be great here too. Fusillade, not so much, because you're risking no form. You're risking pure damage against pure damage, and usually that's not a good matchup for Drogoz. So Combustible would have been okay here, but honestly, WYRM Jets is probably the best. And this map is pretty open. There's a lot of high stuff here. I'm going the aggro build here, just so I can stay in the air longer, and I plan on being more aggressive. That's my plan. My playstyle for this match. I notice Fernando is going damage. We have a damage Nando. And Talus is actually going Faustian Bargain, which caught me off guard. So his game plan is go super fast. But in my mind, now knowing what Talus is going to do to flank,
4, 3,
in my mind I'm thinking,
2,
okay, I just need to pressure Talus
Let the
whenever I
battle
get a
begin.
chance. Make the tree jump. It's actually kind of hard to do. I'm actually going to explain this very quickly. In Paladins,
4, 3, 2.
you can actually
1.
jump higher if you press yourself against a wall or an object. This goes for all champions that can jump and the horses too. So if you rub yourself against here and then you hold W in either A or D, depending on what spawn you have, if you time it right while holding your directional keys,
Let the battle begin.
you can make this jump. And it's, for me, I like to do a flick to the wrist, because sometimes if you jump and you hold W, it goes in a direction you can't be looking at after a jump. So I want to make sure that I don't actually run off the stairs. So that's why I kind of flick my mouse to go forward. You don't have to, but for me personally, that's kind of what I'm used to and what I've always done. I dismount the horse to keep the momentum, and I'm just going to sit up here. I almost roof abused right there, but here's a secret. If we notice my FPS is at 175. For me, and I think that's a default limitation, is 175 is your limit when it comes to FPS. Roof abusing, if you were to watch Cocaine Dragon's video, works much higher. If you have much higher FPS, roof abusing will actually work. But because I limit mine and I kind of stop myself, you can kind of see me slingshot right there. That's what I talked about earlier when I explaining it, that if you don't have the right FPS settings, as you are being pushed down, but you're staying up here, you kind of get slingshot back. You see this happening. So, yeah. This Dredge knows what he's doing, so I'm being cautious. But no, generally with one jets, especially if you're going more of fly-based Drogoz, you kind of just want to use the natural high ground, like these walls, the statues, as your cover to get your feel back, but also not die in the process. Fair and balanced, and now I'm playing aggressive here. Pressure the Talus. I want him to teleport back, which he did. So no, Talus is weak. And I'm gonna go for the kill.
Killing spree.
Abyssal Spike Dredge. If I get close, it explodes, which it exploded. I started Talus teleport, Caspian ran away, so I'm just gonna camp it, and I'm hoping Talus comes back. He never does, but he dies in the process. And my whole team dies out of fucking nowhere, so I'm just gonna run away. I'm gonna use my rocket knockback to try to get a little bit more movement speed.
On my way.
I was like, what the fuck? Caspian gets absolutely wrecked in that situation. Strix basically blinded him with his grenade. Ying ulted. I heard Dredge teleport, and he tries to ult me, but missed. Honestly, fair game. I catch Jules lacking, so I just get the kill on the healer. Talus used his ultimate,
Our bond grows stronger.
and even well, Strix just diffed him. Strix is going crazy. I do a salvo boost here,
30 seconds remaining.
and he saw how fast I did. Alright. I gotta explain this part. You're like Trinity. You just wasted an ultimate. You could have killed him. Here's my mindset. I played this game so much that whenever I go against Fernando, they usually will save their ultimate for my ultimate. Because what Fernando ultimate does, immortality, is basically him and all allies within a certain radius of him for about 3 or 4 seconds cannot fall below 1500 health points, aka they just can't die, which directly counters me, Drogoz. And so what I always done, I try to bait out a Fernando ultimate by flying close to him but then flick up, because I want to see if he's going to use it. So with that in mind, I see him, I try to bait him right here, but he's good enough to recognize my bait. Instead, the moment I passed him, now he ults, and I don't get the kill. So right there, I just get outplayed by this Fernando here. Shout out to him, very good player.
Watch the flank.
This Caspian is not having a nice time.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Next round. Well, I'm feeling good about this match now. I'm just looking at what items they buy, what I need to be careful of. I know Talus pushed right side, so I'm keeping track on where they went, because sometimes players will do the exact same thing. I'm guilty of this as well.
15 seconds.
I'm just, just goofing off.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Can I make the jump again? No, I'm not. Instead, I'm gonna try to do a salvo boost. And I crash into the goddamn wall. What the bridge. Zone out, no one's left side, they're all right side. I catch Talus lacking, and he dies for it. Bro gets sniped. This Strix just has Talus's number. Fernando dies here. Dredge is out of position. I'm gonna try to capitalize it. I see Genos out of position. I try to capitalize it. He gets away. Dredge gets away. And I'm like, you know what? Ying just died. I need to get back. I see Talus's thing here, so I'm just gonna wait for it. Ying ults. Everybody's getting healed. Dredge dies on the right. So I'm just gonna walk it through. Did I do another accidental skill issue? I think I did. Hold on, let me look at this. Wait, I think that was an accidental skill issue. I didn't realize this at first. Hold on. Yeah, that's an accidental skill issue I just did. That's funny. Dude, this Talus is getting abused by the Strix. Oh my goodness, I feel bad for him. Now, I'm gonna be sneaky here. I know where he is at because the Strix flare. So I'm just gonna, you know what? Let's ult behind him. But no one's here. Talus to the right. I'm gonna like, yeah, no. Hi, bud. Bye. Items wise, I'm going Deft Hands because I'm trying to be as much up DPS as I can. And I went blast shields because can I time it right? I went blast shields because of the Fernando dredge. Prediction spit.
Thanks for the healing.
It works. General's gonna try touch. Our Fernando ults. He dies. Miss all my rockets. I know Fernando doesn't have his. Get him out of here.
Victory.
Push it. And we win the game.
Look upon me.
So in that game, you kind of saw me using more flying than normal. Because going one jets, I was trying to keep my distance. I was trying to stay in the air as much as I can. But yeah, so that is the one jets game. Commend everybody. We're gonna take a look at the final stats. 55,000 damage, 12 kill streak, 11 killing blows, 5 solo kills. I went 20 and 1, 20 elims, 1 death, with 55,000 damage. The Caspian is kind of being triggered by the Talus. And this time I didn't top damage. Dredge beat me. Not Dredge, Strix beat me. Our Dredge is kind of useless though. But hey, that's how the cookie crumbles. Drogoz is one of the more unique champions in the realm, but he also is one of the most counted by pure champion roster count. Basically, if it's a hit skin, you're gonna die. He's a champion that takes a lot of patience to master, lots of trial and error, even as the smallest mistakes will result in you dying consistently. Despite this, he gives a lot of user satisfaction when everything just goes right, and can be extremely oppressive when playing with the coherent team that almost no other damage champion can deliver to his degree. His consistent explosives, high skill ceiling, and ample amount of movement text means that there are a large variety of playstyles you can use this champion for. All in all, not all lizards are born to fly. Some are made to rule the skies. For, as Drogoz says himself,
This is my domain.
thank you so much for watching the guide. I hope you learned quite a bit about Drogoz and got yourself prepared to enter the realm as the Greedy himself. There are other fantastic Drogoz players that either currently are part of the community or once was that you can find on YouTube or Twitch. Some people I want to shout out as players who really pioneered or got Drogoz onto the spotlight as a champion to actually take seriously throughout Paladins history. Outside of myself, Inferno Drogoz is a close friend of mine and a well-known Drogoz player within the community. She consistently streams on Twitch and sometimes makes YouTube videos. Her content would be in the description. Bugsy is an ex-pro player of Paladins back when we had higher teams within the esports scene. He really pioneered Drogoz into tournament compositions, which many people took much inspiration to. Helvian is an old school Drogoz player that I mentioned earlier, back in the early years of Paladins, who was known for his blitzy playstyle and, for lack of better words, character when you meet with him in game. I also want to give a quick shout out to Banmoji, who helped with a lot of the testing and recording of my content early on during the abilities section. Their information will be in the description below. Once again, shout out to Jules for being a great duo and tournament teammate for myself and providing some footage and content for the highly advanced movement tech on Drogoz. Feel free to support other people I called out in the description below and check this stuff out, for even most of it might be outdated, especially with the Drogoz and Helvian stuff. It is still fantastic to watch. In addition, all of the content I've used in this YouTube video all the music used and all the creators and contributors used within this video is all gonna be listed in the description. Please check out each and every single one of them. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and welcome to the round.
Ha